Hey y'all, so a couple of things that we gotta touch on right quick. So apparently Controlla said either I look like a skeleton or I'm built like a skeleton. Sis, you're not fucking me. Why do you care what I look like? This is why you're already losing the argument. People are calling you out for shit that comes out your mouth, your actions on the internet. And you're steady talking about how they look. You're steady comparing yourself to some other female. You're steady in competition with people who aren't even looking at you like that, sis. You're a fucking asshole. So if all you can say is that I look like a skeleton, ooh, got me, bitch. I have no titties, I have no ass. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, Controlla. Maybe you forgot what I do for a living, but I lift anywhere from 60 to 115 pounds on a daily basis. I walk almost 2 miles every single day. It would be physically impossible for me to be built like a skeleton. Just throwing that out there, because that's not how that works, sis. Also, don't y'all find it a little weird that this lady claims she don't reach out to family members, she don't call services on people and blah, 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 yet she's steady out here mentioning people's family members and husbands and boyfriends and kids, all that shit. She's the only one out here concerned about that type of shit, but she doesn't do nothing like that. No way. She said, she brought up the situation between me and G and said that I quote-unquote stress him out and tried to insinuate that there's some type of nefarious something happening because I quote-unquote attached myself to these two dudes, right? So let's talk about the G situation for a second, Controlla. Did you forget that dude had to come on live and tell you if you don't quit acting a fucking fool on the internet that he was gonna stop fucking with you? G never had to do no shit like that towards me. He never had to try to parent or police me, or as you say, quote unquote, guide me. That was you he had to do that shit to. I never took no beefs to G. Specifically the ones that I would have with you or Tasha or one of the girls. He always said he was gonna stay out the female drama. So please explain to me how I ever stressed him out. And if you're talking about the situation in which I stopped fucking with G, even that I didn't stress him out. I spoke my piece, and I left him the fuck alone. And let me break this down for the dumbasses in the back who didn't catch on to what happened in that situation. G was upset, and rightfully so, that Straight Drop had talked about his wife. So do you think G went and found a sensible argument to take towards Straight Drop? Nah. He decided to take a situation where a dude talked about my family, even though G called me sis. He took a dude that talked about my family, my husband, my kids, and tried to use that to take a hit at Straight Drop. You see where the issue lies there? He wanted loyalty when it came to what Straight Drop had said about his wife, but he didn't give that same loyalty to the people who fucked with him heavy, who have also had their family members talked about. Do you see where the problem is there? It was never my loyalty in question. Blue could have took that shit to his own channel. Blue could have took that shit to the Robesons or whoever the fuck, all the other people that he fucked with. He could have took that to your channel. But nah, G wanted it so he could take that hit at Straight Drop. And I still didn't stress him out about that. I spoke my mind and left him the fuck alone. Tell us why you're really mad, Controlla. Because you want to know something about those two dudes? Neither one of them have ever made any type of advancement towards me. Neither one of those dudes have any nude or revealing pictures of me. But you know who they do have pictures of, Controlla? You. They both have pictures of you. You've been in their inboxes. Why don't you like me? Why are you ignoring me? Blah, blah, blah. I've never had to do no shit like that. It feels weird as fuck to say this, but that is jealousy if I've ever seen or heard it. Are you mad that I don't have to send nudes to dudes online to have a respectable relationship with them? I can form relationships with people by being myself. You, on the other hand, not so much. Again, tell us why you're really mad. You being out here even insinuating that shit? Listen, bitch. I have been with my husband for over 10 years. We have half of a lifetime together. Nothing is comparable. Nothing is more satisfying. If you really think or are trying to insinuate that some shit happened, and you know what? It's funny that you say that. Perfect example, right? You had to hide your relationship with Blue from your man because you did have something nefarious going on. Me, on the other hand, can prove all day long otherwise. I've never been on the internet for that shit, nor will I ever be, even if I wasn't married. You think my husband doesn't know who these people are? Like, I literally have t-shirts and merch and shit of the people that I support. That includes G, that includes BK. I have a whole hoodie from G, I have a t-shirt from BK. Like, sis, I know you don't know what that feels like, but maybe you should take that into consideration before you come out here insinuating some shit like that, because my husband and I are way past the point of, like, I don't like what you're doing or whatever the fuck. Like, sis, stop it. She also said that she was gonna bring some sort of suit my way. Go for it. Go for it. I got the time, I got the bread, go for it. And maybe you haven't picked up on the fact that this is a part of my personality. That's how I fuck with people. There's someone who gets on here and says that me and someone else are her husband's second and third wife. Like, maybe the jokes go over your head, sis. I don't know. Oh, I almost forgot. She also said something along the lines of, oh, I would never do that to my husband or whatever the fuck. Do what, ma'am? If I recall correctly, your husband was upset about you being on the internet. And there was a point in time in which my husband didn't like what I was doing. And that was the Kanika case. He didn't like the time that I spent or invested sitting on the internet, talking to people, watching videos, listening to what people have to say, watching the same videos over and over and over again, like a fucking obsession. And that's something that I learned from. Most of these clips, I make it work. That affects my husband none. We work opposite schedules. He works during the day, I work at night. And y'all know I fuck with T heavy. But half the time, like if she'll send me a text message or a video or something, she knows that I'm not gonna get back to her until almost 11 o'clock at night after he goes to bed. You also forget that we live a busy lifestyle. And COVID's kind of fucked all that up, but my kids are usually in basketball, football, and baseball, and we're coaching it. Now they're in karate. Like you're out here saying that you're gonna build cases on people. But what you're out here saying and insinuating is actually slander. I can prove my real life. You can't, because you don't ever do shit. Do you really think that my husband would continue to be with me after 10 years if I was out here doing some shit that he wasn't fond of or disliked? Like, if you're gonna be out here saying shit, at least make it true or, like, reasonable. Half the time in the clips, I tell y'all, like, just the other day, the boys had a half day. My husband's at work. They were at school. I was on my way to pick them up. It affected nobody. My husband doesn't smoke. I don't smoke in my house. So when I come out to smoke a cigarette, I'm alone. It affects no one. Just because you take away from your family time doesn't mean that everyone on the internet does. This is just more of you projecting your bullshit off onto other people. That's not how I live my life, sis.